Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, I'll be talking about MCQs with respect to Financial Systems Paper 1, which is the Economics General paper for SYBA. So let's get started. The first question is talking about regional rural banks, and it is asking what is true about regional rural banks in India, and the underlying options are A, the growth of regional rural banks is declining in India, the growth of regional rural bank in India is rising, then we have the growth of regional rural bank in India is stagnant, and the last is none of the above. So whenever you look at the growth projection or trend of the regional rural banks in Indian context, you will see that the growth is declining, and as a result option A is the correct answer. So here I am looking at and I'm asking what is true about regional rural banks in India, and the question is related to the growth of the same, and the growth of regional rural banks in India is declining, and therefore option A is the correct answer. So I hope this MCQ is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next MCQ, which is a long form sort of a question, and here I'm asking what is the long form of RRBs, and the underlying options are A, regional royal bank, we have regional rural bank, then we have royal rural bank, and then we have rural royal bank. So you can see there is a word play, and if you know correctly, this question is very easy to answer, but there's a lot of word play in the options, and therefore you have to be really very careful while reading the options. And here the long form of RRBs is regional rural bank, and therefore option B is the correct answer. So please pay attention to reading the question carefully, because these easy sort of questions come with options which are really difficult. So I hope the idea of a long form sort of a question or full form sort of a question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next MCQ, which is talking about the chairmanship of regional rural banks, and it goes like this. The chairman of regional rural bank is appointed for a term of, here I am specifically asking the term of the chairman of regional rural bank of India, so therefore you have to be very careful while reading the same. So here I am looking at the term of the chairman of regional rural banks in India, and the underlying options are A, 5 years, B, 10 years, C, 15 years, and D, 20 years, and the correct option here is it is A, 5 years. It can be extended after the expiry of the term, but initially it is only for the term of 5 years. For rest of the appointments, for example board of directors and all, the tenure is less. So please make sure that you read the question carefully. Here I am specifically asking about the tenure of the chairman of the regional rural bank, and therefore the answer is A, 5 years. So I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is again talking about the chairmanship, and the question goes like this. The chairman of regional rural banks are appointed by dash on the recommendation of sponsor bank. So who is making sure that the appointments of the chairman are happening on the recommendation of the sponsor banks? Whether A, it is Government of India, or B, it is board of directors of the bank, or C, the Reserve Bank of India, or D, none of the above. So here the chairman of the regional rural banks are appointed on the recommendation of the central government, and therefore option A is correct. Now the central government on the recommendation, now who's recommending to the central government? The sponsor bank. So I hope you know from the previous classes that we have seen that the parties involved in regional rural bank are A, state government, B, central government, and C, a sponsored public sector commercial bank. So here the sponsor bank is recommending the central government to appoint certain individual as the chairman of a regional rural bank in India. So I hope the question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is again a long form sort of a question. Easy questions, you just have to pay attention to the same. So here I am looking at long form of something called as NABARD. So let us look at the underlying options available to us. The first option is talking about National Bank for Agricultural and Regional Development. The second option is talking about National Board on Appointments and Regional Deputation. The next option is talking about National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, and the last option is none of the above. So here you have to know the correct form or correct answer to the same, and here the correct answer is C, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So here I have jumbled the words. Similarly, the questions in the university questions, you will see jumbled words. Here it is used regional development, here it is rural development, and the underlying option, correct option is not regional but rural development. So National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development is the correct answer. Let us look at the last MCQ in this section, which is talking about who has the minimum share in a regional rural bank. So I've told you in this question that regional rural bank consists of central government, state government, and the sponsor bank. So here the central government has shares in the tune of 50%, then we have state government which has shares in the tune of 15%, and then we have the sponsor bank which has the remaining, which is 65, means 35% remaining shares are with the sponsor bank. So therefore here I'm specifically asking who has the minimum shares. I'm asking here specifically the minimum shares and not maximum. So here minimum shares, you can see minimum are with the state, and therefore the underlying options are A, state central government, B, state government, C, sponsor bank, and D, all of the above. So all of the above cannot be the answer, because we can see that the shares are different with respect to the three different players, and here the correct answer is B, option B, state government, which has only 15% of the shares in a regional rural bank. So I hope the idea of multiple choice questions is pretty much clear. Please stay tuned. I'll be making more videos with respect to the same. Thank you.